I'm also too Jewish and too black.
Oh, well, you're not, you could be too Jewish. I don't know if you'd be too black. I'm joking. It's so funny. I love Vanessa Williams. If Vanessa Williams was Jewish, I would give her I would do something for her.
I think it's amazing that every time we talk about black women, you always go to Vanessa Williams, as if there's no other black women.
I think Whitney Houston is gorgeous too. I was just watching this thing with, maybe it was an Academy Award event where what's the guy's name who was opposite her and
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner was kind of tearing up at some kind of tribute to her. It was really touching.
That was her funeral.
Oh, it was her funeral? Todd's going to come up here and say something about me.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little disappointed. A woman that I have a huge crush on rejected me today in a very nice way. So I'm just...
Talking about that publicly is probably not, going to do anything that will help you.
Well, I'm just very candid. I'm not trying to pretend that I'm anything I'm not.
We have Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I can't bring Todd up for whatever reason.
Neither can I.
Maybe he's
Todd comes up so rarely. Clubhouse has kind of deactivated his hand.
I have some question for AB. AB, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm still quite disturbed by the other rooms, the kind of question raised. And then after that, I went through the discussion between Ted Cruz and Taco. And a lot of the question raised in the other room were answered in that discussion. And yeah, I'm still processing what happened in the other room. Point number one. Point number two is, I mean, what is the difference between Gary Critical Thinking Forum and Healthy Debate? I was kind of asking myself this question, because in Gary Critical Thinking, sometimes you have someone who can't present a critical thinking into his or her position, but was very emotionally disturbed by the title of the topics, right? The topic of the critical thinking forum. So they just express the emotion without offering any critical thinking. So the question is, what should Gary do with situation like this? And also, what do you think, Mojo? What would you do with situation like that? People just emotionally disturbed.
Yeah, let me just say this. First of all, there's big differences between Gary's room and this room. Gary, I think Gary's a really good guy. I don't always agree with him, but I think he's a good guy. I think he's well intended. And his spaces, depending on who's on the stage, it could either be fun or it could be terrible. But in terms of people that are emotionally disturbed, it's fucking Clubhouse. Like, if you're not interested in that, I would say that you should get off. There's people on this stage right now that are mentally disturbed. And, yeah, just is what it is.
Dr. Jordan, I came out to talk about the bodyguard.
You're gonna start singing, Tom?
Bullying Dr. Jordan, Mojo. Leave
I
him
don't know.
alone. It's a nice.
I don't have pipes. I don't have pipes like that. They were gonna make a sequel to it though,
Oh, really?
and it was gonna be with Princess Diana, but then she died. But she was like on board.
That's a piece of trivia.
Actually, we don't have our normal crazies on stage today. Where are they?
Yeah. Dave, when I'm in Gary's space and I hear the people come up, and usually you have some pretty smart people, like Anson's really smart when it comes to military discussions, and there's some people that are spot on, and then you just have people that it's nonsense. They just come up because they need their political view stated, but there's no facts behind it, and it's kind of what you're saying. It's emotion.
The thing that I struggle with in that room, though, is that as much as I do like Gary, I think without having chat and without allowing people to respond to people, like where it's just a conversation with Gary and the person, people can get away with saying some really outlandish things that never get checked.
I 100% agree. There is a chat that happens. It's on Facebook Messenger as the room is going, and it's 80% dominated by Trump derangement syndrome people. So, and if you take them on any of their, there just can be blanket statements like, let's see, today Republicans are immoral, things like that. If you take them on, you're immediately labeled either racist or you're misogynist. You get every term, but it runs simultaneous, and then it just keeps running through the messenger chat. It's frustrating.
Gary is a throwback to like the 1970s, 1980s newsmen who drank at lunchtime, and it makes me nostalgic. I always agree 100% with what goes on in this room, and me and him have had words I say over that chat being cut off. But I think Clubhouse is a graveyard, and his room is one of the few places where you actually can have a conversation without it turning into absolute nonsense. Yes, some people get emotional, but ultimately it's a well-moderated room, and it's not stupid for lack.
I agree with you 100%, but I would also add that I don't know if I agree with Mojo entirely, although I defer to him 99% of the time on 99% of the things. Like, I think Clubhouse may have a kind of I don't want to say renaissance. I think it will eventually perhaps lead the way in many of the social tech spaces, because these apps where people are meeting in person are becoming so popular. The research on the being digitally drowned, so to speak, by too much technology. This is kind of a halfway point. This is a hybrid where you at least hear people's voices. And I think we're going to move away from spaces where people are just text-based. And, this will be a happy medium, because people don't necessarily always want to meet in person. But I think there's going to be a renaissance period for a revival for social audio.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think social audio is going to be thought about like as the way that we do about like adult videos theaters that used to exist. I'm sure they exist in some parts of the world, but they used to be all over the place, right? And now you could just talk about, hey, remember the time. And I think our experience on social audio, we will probably look back and go, hey, remember when there was this thing where you could get on and you could like be around a bunch of weirdos and you could yell at each other and you could, you know, I mean, if you think about the full range of experiences on here, there's people that are sharing legitimate good information with people that benefit them in their life. I mean, you know, like, I mean, shit, I've been in rooms where, and I'm not just blowing smoke up Todd's ass because he's on the stage for the first time in 1,000 years, but, you know, Todd's talked about nutrition in rooms where I'm like, does this guy know what he's talking about? And I'm fucking Googling shit. And I'm just like, yeah, this guy's fucking smart. And like, and some of the things that people bring up, you can incorporate in your life because like somebody said something that you weren't even aware was a thing. And like the nutrition thing's just one of them. That's on the positive side. But I think it's so over-indexed on negativity that I don't think it's going to have a renaissance, because I think what will happen is, for all the reasons that celebrities said when they peaked in and then they said, oh shit, I better go, like the Kevin Harts of the world, I think that that's going to be the conclusion that most people come to, is like, hey, that seems fucking fun, but it's not for me. Kind of like a rave, or maybe like, you know, those adult video theater.
Well, how long do you think